King Corn beats be killing shit.
We was powers on this earth once, and we was all about the mirth once. Idol worship, murder like the first of the month. Hit a nigga with the bit like you need a light. That's what you do when you on fourth, or else you got a punt. But we ain't needed when we cry for Egypt flesh, nah. So it's Egypt that we got, and we hella mad. These crackers soaring off our shoulders like some helipads. They see our sweat, but they don't feel us like we holograms. I'll be damned, another black man shot again.
Hey, shalom, family, shalom. Peace and blessings to everybody tapping in, everybody getting ready to tap in. All right, first and foremost, as always, we're going to give all praise to the Most High. All right, to the Most High Yah, to the Father. All right, giving him all the praise, honor, and the glory. All right, we do so in the name of his only begotten Son. All right, all right. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Make sure y'all like, sharing, and subscribing. All right. Make sure that y'all like, sharing, and subscribing so that we can get into it. It's going to be a good one today, Lord willing. It's going to be a good one today, Lord willing. So, hey, like I said, make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all sharing this out, right? To the brothers, to the sisters, right? To the little ones. We're going to keep it PG, right? Maybe PG-13, all right? But this is going to be a good one. And honestly, I've only watched a little bit of this content right here, so that I wanted to actually have a more genuine reaction with y'all family. So y'all going to get my genuine reaction. I probably watched maybe the first minute or two of this. So we're going to get right to it. Make sure that y'all commenting. If you liking the conversation, do me a favor, drop some fire emojis up in the chat. All right. Also, if you could, somebody write fair use. All right. All right. Fair use, man. It's just going to be my thoughts on this content. You know what I mean? I want to see what this person has to say. All right. We want to hear what this person has to say about this, right? He said, hell no. I'm not apologizing for being white. And you people don't deserve no reparations. Oh, man. We're going to get into it, right? And I want to definitely hear this gentleman's line of reasoning, all right? Why he feels the way he feels, and we're going to talk about it, all right? Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Sister Roxy. Hey, look, again, fair use, all right? Fair use. All right. So we're gonna get to it. Excuse me, in just a moment. All right. And forgive me. Generally, I am going to try to do these live streams on Thursday, but sometimes it may fall to Friday. But either Thursday or Friday is when we'll get to the live streams, family. All right. Again, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, you know, make sure that you please do so. Hey, man, shout out to the brother Ash right here, man. If y'all haven't subscribed to his channel, make sure y'all subscribe there. All right. And we're just going to, continue to edify through the spirit, right? Through the grace that the Heavenly Father has given us. You know what I mean? We just your humble servants. All right. So, hey, without further ado, right, I tried to give, let's see, I wanted to give about 5 minutes, for a few more folks to get in here and join us live. So I'm going to give about, knocking my stuff over. I'm going to give about 30 more seconds, and then we're going to go ahead and get to it. We're going to go ahead and get to it. Let's go ahead and make this full screen. go ahead and get started and see what this seemingly angry fellow has to say. Let's see why you so mad. All right, why you so mad, homie?
I'm gonna say this. I don't give a who cries in the comments. It's about to get real. I'm done apologizing for being white.
Here we go. All right. He said that he's not gonna apologize. All right. Right off the rip, he going in. All right. All gas, no brakes. Let's go.
I'm gonna say this. I don't give a who cries in the comments. It's about to get real. I'm done apologizing for being white. I didn't own slaves. I didn't write Jim Crow. I didn't redline.
Look, man. He said, first, I'm done apologizing. Look, man. Why are you so angry, bro? Calm down. All right. That's what we want Buddy to do first is calm down. All right. He said that I didn't do redlining. You see, the thing that's funny is that these heathens, right? They say things like you see, right? Like, I didn't do redlining. I didn't own slaves. They want to wash their hands, right? But what they won't wash their hands of is the white privilege. I bet you ain't doing that. All right? You got every advantage being a so-called white man, and it don't matter if your family came here after so-called slavery. Allegedly, that's your assertion. You know what I mean? And really, I'd like for you to prove that, buddy. All right? You know what I mean? I don't believe. Hey, man, you look like your family go back to the deep south somewhere, bruh. All right? I'm just being real. That's my opinion. I got no proof on that. You know what I mean? But I do want to bring this scripture out, man, because look, let's start it again one more time, family. Let me start again from the beginning. Yeah, I got to bring this out, man.
I'm going to say this. I don't give a who cries in the comments. It's about.
You don't care who cries. Look, bro, you don't care about you. None of you so-called black people. He don't care. Hey, man, look at this brother right here. I think his name is Anton Daniels, man. Again, shout out to him, right? And fair use again on this, right? Look at his face, bro. His face like my face, bro. Like what? Bro. Look, man. Oh, hold on, man. Let me share my screen, man. Let me bring this scripture up right quick, man. All right. Real fast, and then we're gonna get back to the video, I promise. All right. Oh man. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 2, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. What does it say? It says, why do the heathen rage? And the people imagine a vain thing. See, like this heathen, man, the first thing, you know, instead of approaching it in a fair in a balanced manner, look how this Edomite immediately comes off, right? Look how rageful he was, right? Why do the heathens rage and imagine a vain thing? Like the vain thing that this gentleman is imagining is that, oh, it doesn't matter if allegedly you didn't own slaves and your ancestors allegedly didn't own slaves. You know, you think that you can wash your hands with it and it's all good. You know what I mean? Why do you people have a problem with me? You know what I mean? Well, even if that is true, right? The white privilege that is extended to this race of people in their kingdom, right? Which it is their kingdom, right, is unparalleled, right? And again, he's not going to apologize for the systemic racism, for the Jim Crow, right? I'm sure his family was around during Jim Crow, right? I'm sure his family was around for redlining. What you do for redlining? Maybe your family didn't take part in it allegedly, right? But were you speaking up against it? Were you trying to stop it? No. It's systemic to this nation, to Babylon. All right? That's why the thing, this heathen imagine is a vain thing, man. Right? And the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, see, this is what happened. This is what this gentleman doesn't understand, that the kings of the earth, all of these nations came together, right, to be confederate against the nation. All right, let's get back to the video, though. All right, I'll hear some more what this guy got to say. All right, let's go. This heathen imagining a vain thing, man. That's the face I'm making too, bro. Let's go.
About to get real. I'm done apologizing for being white. I didn't own slaves. I didn't write Jim Crow. I didn't redline. I was born in the 1980s to a middle-class family that had to work for everything. I worked 50 plus hours a week.
Oh boy, I was born to a middle-class family. And you know what that is a testament to? That you a failure in your own kingdom, bro. I mean, you got no excuses, bro. You're sitting up here. It sounds like for real, right? What it sounds like is like this Edomite, this dog, like this guy is just mad, you know what I mean? Because he got to work hard, you know what I mean? Won't you go get mad at the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, you know, and the J.P. Morgans, you know what I mean? And all them folks out, and all the elite families, bro, that got you working like a dog here, bro. You about to be a 2-time failure, bro. It's okay though, my guy. It will be okay. Calm down, heathen. Stop the raging. All right?
Pay my taxes, and I'm still told I'm the villain. Every day it's check your white privilege.
Well, you are a villain. FYI. All right, man. Your people are villainous, man, in this story. See, right? Let me show you another scripture, man. All right? See, for what your ancestors did, the Most High, he don't forget, you know, he long suffering. All right? Let me show you something, bro. All right? Let me show you this right here, man. Let me share my screen again. Let's go back here. Let me get Amos chapter 1 real quick for y'all family. I think I want verse 11, right? Let's highlight this right here. All right. See, it says, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom and for 4, all right, for a complete amount of transgressions, all right, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. See, the Most High, he ain't forgot, bro. He has not forgot about your transgression. See, that's what they want to do. See, they want to cover their transgression and they want love, man. See, he who cover, I think that's in Proverbs. Let me try to find that before we go, right? I believe it goes like, he who covers his transgression seeketh love. You see what I'm saying? Right? That's what it's saying in Proverbs. When you try to cover up what you did wrong, you know what I mean? A person who's seeking love is trying to cover up what they did wrong. All right? That's what he wants to do by saying, oh, my family is so working class. The Lord ain't forgot, bro. You're not going to turn away the punishment thereof. No, sir. Right? Again, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword. See, that's what y'all did. Right? You sitting up here all self-righteous talking about, oh no, I didn't do it. Look, man. Your ancestor, I got something else gonna bust your bubble a little bit later, man. Right? But the Most High ain't forgot about what your ancestors did. All right? Because he did pursue his brother with the sword. Now watch this. He did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear. Look at this word, perpetually. Let's see what that means. See? Let me show you something, bro. Let me show you some Bible. Let me show you some Bible, right? All right. Some hermeneutics real quick. All right. Perpetually. All right. Perpetually. All right. Let's see what this means. So the translation from Strong is H 5703 in the following manner. Perpetually, ever, everlasting, eternity, right? We see the implication, evermore, from old, so to speak, right? Perpetually, right? Same thing. So perpetual, forever, continuing, future. See that? Continuing into the future. The pursuit of Jacob from Esau, it has not stopped. It's continued into the future. It's happening now. It's systemic within this very society. And this guy is sitting up here all self-righteous, man. Esau, man. All right? Because his anger did tear perpetually. That's why he came off so mad from the beginning. Y'all saw that, right, family? How he came off in the beginning. He was very upset, man. That's why that's why I had to go to the precept of Psalms too. Like, bro, calm down, bro. Why you rage yourself, my man? Right? That's because your anger, right? His anger did tear perpetually, right? And what? He kept his wrath forever. You know what I mean? That's what it is. We starting to understand, family? Right? Oh, hey, Khan. Right, man. Hey, man. Shout, I believe this is brother Yeshaya, right? Hey, shouts to the brother Yeshaya, right? That is a good one, right? Yeah, right. No reparations, right? But the small hats, man, they send millions, right? See, I believe that's Tupac who said it in one of his lyrics. He says, how can the government fix problems, I'm paraphrasing, problems in other countries when they ain't fixed home yet, right? And look, right, they don't want to give reparations, which was promised, which they started to give out, by the way. That's a story for another day. That's another lesson. I might get into that, you know what I mean? And bring out some resources and show how they did start to give out resources. They started to give out reparations to our people, FYI. And then from the federal, from the federal Congress, right? The Congress and the Senate, right? And the president signed it, right? They, they didn't. The president didn't sign whatever amendment it was, right? That would have to execute the dispersing of reparations, right? I don't want to misspeak on it, but it's either he didn't sign it or either they started it and then they signed the law to stop it. But they started giving out land in Georgia. That's some of the most valuable land right now along the coast of Georgia, South Carolina, and if I'm not mistaken, North Carolina too, right? So it is insane, right? In millions a year. Look, bro. I mean, it might be like $1 billion a year, right? And then these small hats, they'll say stuff. These people will say stuff on television like, yeah, we may give it to them, but they spend millions with us buying our weapons. Man, look, bro. First of all, America give them a lot of the stuff, you know what I mean? But that's another story for another day. I don't want to digress, but that was a good point, my brother. All right, but let's get back to this video now. All right, let's get back to it. Let's get back to this guy right here. All right, I'm gonna call him Joe. Let's get back to Joe. All right.
Do a land acknowledgement. Post the black square. Feel guilty for something I had zero to do with. No way. My great grandparents came off a boat from Germany with nothing. I've got black.
So he's a Nazi, potentially. Or maybe he's a small hat. He might be from Germany. There's a lot of small hats in Germany. You know what I mean? All right. Let's check this guy. Check this guy's ancestry. All right. He might be a crypto Jew. You trying to hide that? I don't know, bro. You know what I mean? He might be telling fibs about growing up middle class and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't know, bro. You might be telling fibs, man.
People in my family tree, and nobody in my bloodline ever owned a slave.
Allegedly, you got black people in your family tree, right? And see, these people, they love to do that, man. They love to say stuff like that. I got black people in my family too. Fantastic, bro. You are who your father is, according to the Bible. All right. And again, man, as y'all see, this guy's very angry. You know what I mean? Calm down, buddy. Take a couple of deep breaths, Esau. It's gonna be all right. And look, and he says stuff like, my family never owned slaves. Let's listen.
Nothing. I've got black people in my family
Go
that
back.
I had zero to do with. No way. My great grandparents came off a boat from Germany with nothing. I've got black people in my family tree, and nobody in my bloodline ever owned a slave.
And nobody in my bloodline ever owned slaves. Man, oh man. Right, but this nation that you currently dwell in, and it's not my fault, it's not my people's fault, you know what I mean, you Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, if this Edomite don't take advantage of his white privilege, right? Because according to our laws, which most laws are based on, by the way, right? By the way, if you look at a book of, not like in the Webster's dictionary, if you look at in a law book, you know what I mean, that lawyers, judges, and stuff that they use their laws, right? It's literally based off the Bible, you know what I mean, and ancient writings. Okay, so let me show you a law real quick, right? Let me get this real quick for us, right? I'm gonna show this guy. I'm gonna show this gentleman something, man. I want to show him a law on slaves, right? And what the Most High thinks. See, this gentleman probably thinks, oh, it's all good. Like my family never owned slaves, and you look, man, bro. You think it's all good, but it's not, all right? Because we're still in our oppressor's hands, and I bet he don't give a fuck about that. I'm quite sure. Excuse my language, man. I'm trying not to curse. All right. I gotta give myself one strike for that. I'm just gonna find this scripture real quick. Oh, I can't find what I'm looking for. I might have to paraphrase the scriptures, family, for y'all and come back to it. Oh, nope, I found it. All praises to the Most High. Here we go. Did I share my screen yet? Nope, let me share my screen. Here we go. So let me show y'all this law right here. Man, I just had it pulled up, and where did it go? Right, here we go. This is what I want. So this is Exodus 21 and 16, right? And it says, and he that stealed the man, right? Because they came and they definitely stole a man. I mean, they stole a whole nation of people, but we see the implication, right? See that? He that stealed the man and selleth him, right? That's what they did here, right? Right? And he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Right? That's what the Most High said. Right? You agree with that? Are we not still found in the hands of the people who stole us? Right? They stole us, and then they sold us, and then we still be found in their hands? Would that not surely make them worthy of death? Oh, yeah. Look, and what did he say? Right, sister? He did say that. He said based on his ancestry history and DNA. What a pathetic joke, right? That's why I said allegedly. He got no real proof. The ancestry only going based on his mother's side. You know what I mean? Right? So, no, sir. Your argument is not holding up. It don't hold weight. Right? But we see this, right? This nation, right, as a complete nation, and allegedly, only you can say allegedly your family had no hand in the slave trade, right? But by the way, even if your family didn't have a direct hand in the so-called transatlantic slave trade, your ancestors, vis-a-vis you, are still guilty by association, right? They weren't doing nothing to stop it, by the way. And I bet you they profited during that time off of slavery, off of the backs of the slaves. Everybody did. Even the foreigners, immigrants, right? The immigrants who came over here, y'all still benefit off of the back of the slaves. Stolen people who were stolen and sold and still found in the hands of that same person who stole them, right? And according to our laws, right, which most laws are based on, you're worthy of death. All right? So calm down, heathen man. I'm just trying to show you, all right? Again, family, let's take a little pause, like, share, and subscribe, right? For everybody tapped in right now, I appreciate it. If I'm talking good, if you're enjoying the content, if it's edifying to you, definitely hit that like button. Drop a fire emoji. Make sure you're sharing this with your family. All right? Make sure you're doing that for me. Right? So that we can get this out. You know what I mean? So that we can build a bigger community, right? So that we can have these discussions. Okay? Right? Because I enjoy these discussions. Lord willing, y'all enjoying these discussions. All right? And we want to be more interactive. All right? Let's get back to it though. Let's let him talk a little bit more.
You want an apology? Dig up the dead. You want money? Call Congress, or better yet, work for it like everybody.
Oh, call Congress, man, or work for it like everybody else. Now, that's fascinating that he said, I'm going to rewind that and I'm going to let this play again. I'm going to rewind this so everybody can hear it. We ain't even a minute in, bro. This heathen is raging, man. This heathen is raging. Well, hold on, man. What is the sister who said that? Look, shout out to the sister. Why do the heathens rate this, bro? This Edomite is big, mad. He got a lot of excuses, but we don't bust a lot of them bubbles already.
Line ever owned a slave. You want an apology? Dig up the dead. You want money? Call Congress, or better yet,
a little bit further. We'll come back to about 20 seconds.
Every day it's check your white privilege, do a land acknowledgement, post the black square, feel guilty for something I had zero to do with. No way. My great grandparents came off a boat from Germany with nothing. I've got black people in my family tree, and nobody in my bloodline ever owned a slave. You want an apology? Dig up the dead. You want money?
Apology. And you see, this is the overwhelming pride of Esau. We want an apology? No, we don't. I want to dip my toe in my enemy's, trying to keep this PG, as I said, family. But no, we don't want an apology, because an apology, just like from a person like you and most of your people in your ethnicity and your race, right, and your family, so to speak, right, wouldn't be genuine anyway. Not gonna be a genuine apology. Do anybody in the chat right now think that if we got an apology from a guy like this, that it would? Do you want an apology from him? I don't. I don't. Fat boy. Let's let this heathen rage a little bit more.
Call Congress, or better yet, work for it like everybody else has to.
And again, this guy says call Congress, man. And these people spoke out of both sides of their mouth. By the way, it was something that was promised to the slaves. You acting like, even for those who asking and think that who are concerned about reparations, which I am not, you know what I mean? We want another type of reparations, by the way, right? But you act like see, the pride of these people, man, these devils, right, is that they act like it was something that was not promised to this people, to the descendants of these slaves. And then, as y'all always do, right, let me bring this scripture out, right? Let me bring this out right quick, man. Let me bring this out. Second Timothy chapter 3. Let me show y'all something. See, man, this again, like I was saying, man, something promised, man. And this guy talking about go to Congress, bro. Why should we have to go to Congress, right? The people who it was promised to, by the way, and legislation was passed. You know what I mean, right? Why should they have to go to Congress to beg? See, that's not always what they want us to do. Beg for something that was supposed to be given to us anyway. No, we're not doing that, right? That's why, like I said, I don't care about no damn reparations, man. All right, but the simple fact is that it was promised, right? So let's look at this. It says, "This know also that in the last days, which we're definitely in, that perilous times shall come." Right? Why? For men will be lovers of their own selves, covetous, right? Boasters like that guy, proud, right? And I'm sure he's a daggone blasphemer, right? Disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, right? Truth breakers, right? And false accusers, right? But the point is, truth breakers is what I wanted to get. Ain't nobody broke more truths, man, than Esau, the so-called white man. It was something that was promised to this people, bro, and then look how self-righteous that guy is, man. Right? Go to Congress. That's all y'all do, man. And if you look in First and Second Maccabees, you'll be disgusted if you see how the Greeks and the Romans, how they operated with our ancestors. They broke every single truth that Israel made with them. What that sound like? It sounds like how they broke every single truth our Northern Kingdom brethren, right, and sisters made with them, right? Every single one. Every single one. Y'all can't hold a one? Not one? Family? And then you wonder why they have names with in our communities, right? You Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you the real Israelites, by the way, right? Like in the Native American community, call them a fork-tongued devil. Because you can't trust nothing he say. He talk out of both sides of his mouth. right? It's because he damn sure is double-minded, right? And if you're double-minded, what did that make you? Huh? Let's get that, right? Real quick. All right, in James, right? Oh, Slakia. Right? What does that say? Right? It says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Babylon, right? Confusion, instability. Right? Kind of America, the truth breakers. Right. He says, I have black people in my tree. Which one? The one out front or bloodline. SEC is that from the grandpa raping our ancestors hell out of here. Yeah, man, look, bro. I'm not, we're not buying that story either, buddy. All right? Talking about I got, yeah, and that's probably what it was from graping. All right? Oh, man. Double-minded, man. Truth breakers. Let's get back to the video, though. Let's get back and listen to this guy some more. See what else he has to say. Very angry. We see that. Very rageful. Make sure y'all hitting that like button, y'all sharing and subscribing too, family. All right, let's go.
I'm not your emotional punching bag, and I'm sure as hell not your ATM because my skin is lighter than yours. And let's be real, people who
emotional, well, you my punching bag right now. I don't need no emotional punching bag. Well, I'll punch on you right now for sounding stupid. Esau, where's the wise men of teaming at? Where are they at? Because you're kind of low level there, buddy. You know what I mean? I'm sure, and Anton Daniels, man, again, fair use, but I'm sure he's about to cook you up too. All right? Y'all can go watch that on your own time, man. But y'all came to see me cook this brother, cook this Edomite up through the spirit, which we've been doing. All right? Why do the heathens rage, bro? And imagine the vain thing. All right? We're going to get our reparations, even if you say Esau, even if you like, hell no. You know why? Because it's promised to us, man. We're going to get it. We're going to get it because you got a reward coming, right? And the Most High, he said that he got indignation with your people forever. He said his sword was bathed in heaven, man.
never pick cotton want a check from people who never owned a plantation. That's not justice. That's a
I gotta hear that again. What?
I'm not your emotional punching bag, and I'm sure as hell not your ATM because my skin is lighter than yours.
What does that have to do? And see, they love to go. They love to go to that. You know what I mean, right? Y'all the one who always bring the skin tone. Y'all have a fascination with people with our skin. That's not us. Y'all use y'all white skin to go around, right? Your translucent skin, by the way. Esau, right? And look, I might have to do, I don't know, maybe my bro might get to him first, but I saw this brother, I'm off on a side tangent right now, family, but I saw this apologist try to say, oh, well, it says that Esau was red and it says King David was ruddy too. But look, bro, you can't do that, bro, because even the scholars know, right? The so-called Edomite scholars, these heathens know. That's why when you look at the alternate translations for the verses concerning David and I believe that's 1 Samuel being ruddy, when you look at them, it says that he was like black and beautiful, right? Because the context supersedes the etymology of the word, but the etymology of the word completely applies to Esau. And I'm gonna show you why real quick. Y'all want to see that? Do y'all want me to go off and show why Genesis 25 and 25 directly in the context and the Hebrew word for it, right, the root word directly applies to Esau, to the so-called white man right here, this translucent man? Huh? Y'all want me to show that real quick? I'm gonna do it anyway. All right. Let me show something real quick. All right. Let me share my screen real quick. We're gonna come back and we're gonna get back to this heathen who's very upset and very racial. All right, get back to him. All right. So let me show this. And again, as I'm just saying, they bring this skin tone argument into it. You know what I mean? And Most High knew that this devil Esau, that he would use the way he looked. You know what I mean? To once he, broke the yoke from around his neck to rule the world. You know what I mean? To mentally, you know what I mean, along with using the sword, but it's a lot of mental projection now. You know what I mean? Mental projection on our people, and on the world at large. Let me show y'all this real quick, though. So this is Genesis 25:25, and it reads, "And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment," right? And they called his name Esau. All right, so let's look at the word red. All right. So we see ruddy red of Esau as an infant, reddish hair complexion. All right, now this is the Strong's definition of it. You know what I mean? This is his interpretation of it, but I want to show y'all something, right? As in hair, no sir, right? Now, when it's talking about King David, you know what I mean? That could be implied that maybe he'd have a reddish tint to his hair, but it's really talking about something else about him being, youthful, you know what I mean? And his complexion being more like that of a ruddy horse, you know what I mean? Look ruddy horse up, by the way. But let me show y'all this real quick and let's get back to it, right? So let's look at the root word, all right? Adam, right? Awada, all right? This is that is interesting because this is so this is interesting because if you look at it, says dry red, ruddy, you know what I mean, outlined to be red. But look at this right here. In the Strong's definition of the root word adon to the word red, what does it say here? To show blood in the face. Now, why do you think they go so hard to conceal this part of this definition? Right? I.e., flushed or torn rosy, to be dry, made red, right? Who looks like that when they're flushed? Who show forth blood through the skin? Who gets flushed and turns rosy? All right, man. Okay. All right. We ain't gonna spend too much time on it, man. But I thought that was fascinating because again, you translucent people, or as my daughter used to call y'all, you clear people, y'all the ones always bringing up skin tone. All right.
And let's be real, people who never pick cotton want a check from people who never owned a plantation. That's not justice, that's a shakedown.
Wait a second. So his argument is that we never pick cotton because he's saying that the ancestors of the people who are still systematically oppressed to this day, they don't deserve it. Right? He's saying that that we're trying to, that so-called black people are trying to shake you down personally? Why are you so mad? It's not a personal shakedown, buddy. All right. And by the way, like I pointed out, this is something that was encoded in the Constitution, promised to the slaves and the descendant of their slaves, the 40 acres and a mule, the reparations. So it's not like this is something that people are pulling out of thin air, buddy. Ridiculous, man. But again, that's not the reward that we want. We're going to get reparations. I'm going to show you that, and the Lord promised. I'm going to show you that here in a few too, bro.
And these sniveling liberal white apologists crying online for sins they didn't commit. You're not brave. You're a fucking embarrassment. You apologize when you up, not for history you weren't alive for.
You apologize when you fuck up. They're not apologizing saying that they own slaves. I believe what they're apologizing for, those politicians, are for the reparations, first of all, not being paid, and for, the slavery that did occur, right? And then not even that, after the slavery, the systematic oppression, the Jim Crow, the red line, some of the things you named, right? I got, look how angry this guy is, man.
Sick of being told it's a crime to be a straight white man in this country. I go out of my...
Well, the problem you have, that problem ain't with us. You know what I mean? That problem is with your own woman, with the liberal white woman, right? Who influences the so-called liberal woman of color, the minority. But that's a fight that you need to go pick up with your woman. You know what I mean? Let's rewind that and hear that again. He said, being a straight white man, there's nothing wrong with being straight. You should be. You know what I mean? But your people are, look, bro. See, let me bring this scripture out, and then we're going to let this play again, too, right? See, your people are very profane, FYI. You know what I mean? Let me show you this real quick, right? Straight, that's a stretch. Maybe you are, but I mean, your people, bro, are very, very profane. You know what I mean? Let me get this in Hebrews real quick, right? Let me share my screen too, right? Again, hey family, make sure y'all hitting that like button, share, and subscribe. So this is Hebrews 12 and 16. It says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright." Let's look at this in a different translation real quick, family. Let's get the tools. Let's go to Bibles. Let's look at it in the NIV and the ESV. We'll read them both, right? It says, "See that no one is sexually immoral or callous like Esau." Sexual immorality speaks to homosexuality, by the way. So, I mean, your people are very immoral, and definitely godless, right? The ESV says that no one is sexually immoral or unholy like Esau. All right? And many of these other translations corroborate that understanding, right? You being a fornicator, aka sexually immoral, right? You so-called straight man, all right? Let's go back.
Apologists crying online for sins they didn't commit. You're not brave. You're a fucking embarrassment. You apologize when you up, not for history you weren't alive for. I'm sick of being told it's a crime to be a straight white man in this country. I go out of my way to treat people with respect until they give me a reason not to. I'm done bending the knee. I'm done whispering. I'm done disappearing into the background so you feel comfortable. I'm picking my side. I'm not guilty. I'm not sorry. I never.
You heard what he said there? Y'all heard what he said? He said, I'm picking my side. See, man, our people better learn, man. All right? When it all comes down to it, man, you want to hold hands with these people, man, they gonna pick their side over you, man. That's why the scriptures say, never trust thine enemy, man. These people ain't just our enemies, man. They enemies of the Most High. Oh, man.
Was. You can.
Hey, did you know you might get...
Oh, YouTube.
Stay mad. If you're done apologizing too, drop a comment below.
Oh. All right. So we basically got through his whole rant. All praises to the Most High. I'm going to rewind it and we're going to listen. Anton, Mr. Daniels, sorry. This is my show right here. You know what I mean? This is my program to edify those true believers, you know, the true worshipers, man, want to worship the Most High in spirit and in truth. So we'll say your commentary, my bro, for another time. They can watch that on their own time. All right. But let's listen to the last portions of this man's rant. All right.
Not for history you weren't alive for. Real people who never picked cotton want a check from people who never owned a plantation. That's not justice. That's a shakedown. And these sniveling liberal white apologists crying online for sins they didn't commit. You're not brave. You're a fucking embarrassment. You apologize when you up, not for history you weren't alive for. I'm sick of being told it's a crime to be.
History you want to lie? Did he say history you want to lie for? Is that what he really said?
You apologize when you up, not for history you weren't alive for. I'm sick of being told it's a crime.
History you want to lie for, as in he's implying, as in slavery didn't happen, that y'all not truth makers, that reparation weren't promised. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, man. Right? You're gonna get what y'all gonna get you're gonna get your just reward there, buddy. You know why? Most High's not mocked, man.
Time to be a straight white man in this country. I go out of my way to treat people with respect until they give me a reason not to. I'm done bending the knee. I'm done whispering. I'm done disappearing into the background so you feel comfortable. I'm picking my side. I'm not guilty. I'm not sorry. I never was. You can.
He said, I'm not guilty and I'm not sorry, man. I'm going to go to an oldie but a goodie, man, right? We're done with him, man, right? Let me share my screen, man. Let me share my screen. All right, I got a couple of scriptures, man. Oh, man, right? If y'all enjoying this, man, if this has been really edifying, man, make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you share. Make sure y'all subscribe, family. All of that good stuff, all right? Did I bring up? Oh, no, I want to share my other screen, Salakia family. Here we go. So let's get Zechariah chapter, right? So, right, this is Zechariah chapter 11. Let's start at verse 1. It says, the doomed flock, right? It says, open the doors, O Lebanon, that the fire may devour the cedars. Hollow fair trees from the cedar is fallen, because the mighty are spoiled, right? Because the mighty are spoiled, right? How, O ye oaks of Bashan? It's talking about Israel, right? If I'm not mistaken, all right, let's look at that word. Sean, he's fruitful, dish for Eastern Jordan known for his fertility, which is given to half a tribe of Manasseh, right? So this is a land in Israel, right? All right, you see that, all right, as I was saying, but I just wanted to make sure, right? So we see the context, right? So right? Oaks of Bashan, in the forest of the vintages come down. There is a voice of hallowing of the shepherd. For the glory is full, a voice of roaring of the young lion. For the pride of Jordan is full. Whew. Right? And we see that now. You know what I mean? That reminds me of Genesis 49, right? Who's gonna rile these lions up, right? As the young lions, you know, they were one way, but as an old lion waxing old in our oppressor's land, who's gonna rile them up? It says, thus saith the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter, right? So we're gonna feed you, man. I'm gonna continue to feed you through the Spirit. All praises to the Most High, right? Who what? Right? This is the implication of this gentleman. It says, whose possessors slay them, right? As we read in Exodus chapter 21, chapter 12 earlier, right? They stole a man, they sold him, and he's still found in his hands. They worthy of death, right? But it says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And what? And they that sell them, right, say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not. Right? But that's the implication, man. Right? He wants to again wash his hand. I got nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Oh my Lord. Right? Mad at his brethren, you know what I mean, for even approaching the topic, man. Don't care, you know what I mean, about them being truth breakers, right? About this the very thing that your own people, your ancestors promised. You mad about that. See, but we're gonna get what's coming to us, man. Right? Because y'all hold yourselves not guilty, man. Right? But if we do this, man, we're gonna get our reparations, so it don't matter what Esau say, right? Right? This is what we gotta do, right? Revelation 2:25. But that which you have already heard, hold fast till I come. It's talking about hamashiach, hold fast till he comes. What have we heard, right? That we should, of course, love the Most High, love our brothers as ourselves, right? Keep the commandments, right? That's how we do what? Overcome and endure. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, him will I give power over the nations. This is how we're going to get our reparations, family. This is how we're going to reward them double as was promised. Right? And I'm going to, look, man, I'm going to come back to this. I want to read something else real quick in Ezra's, man. We're going to come back there. I promise, family. We're not done in Revelation. Let's look at Ezra's real quick. All right. This is Second Ezra, chapter 3. Second Ezra chapter 3, and it reads. It says, "In the 13th year after the ruin of the city, I was in Babylon." Let that sink in. "And I laid trouble upon my bed." Right. I know many nights, probably many of you brothers and sisters laid trouble on your bed with your hearts heavy about things that go on here in Babylon, right? And my thoughts came up over my heart, right? So the thoughts came unto his mind, right? These thoughts, right? This heaviness, right? Why? He says, "For I saw the desolation of Zion." The desolation, the state our people in, that valley of dry bones, man, because of what these heathens have done to us, man, here in Babylon, which that heathen, man, is trying to gloss over, right? He want to completely separate from it, right? And he talking about, oh, I came from a middle-class family, bro. Well, even a middle class is pretty good when most of our people, we got to get it from the bottom, get it from the dirt, all right, below the poverty line, right? When you look at all the statistics as it pertains to oppression, poverty, our people, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the real Israelites, the people of the book, they still at the bottom, fam. You middle class, you're a middle class German family. Right? What about the complete desolation and decimation of a people who are still found in their oppressor's hand? You got some nerve. And you heathens with that mindset, man. Right? But what did Ezra saw, man? Him laying heavy and him laying in his bed and these thoughts coming to his mind. He's troubled, you know what I mean? And I feel this prophet. You know what I mean? Our brother Ezra, man, because many nights I'm troubled, you know what I mean? Shout to the brother Ash. I know many nights he like that too, right? He said, for I saw the desolation of Zion. And what? And the wealth of them that dwell in Babylon. Ooh, that not sound like right now? Does that not sound like right now, family? And my spirit was sore moved, so that I began to speak words for the fear, speak words full of fear to the Most High. It said, O Lord that bearest rule, thou speakest at the beginning when thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone commandest thy people, right? I'm going to jump to the end of the chapter and show you what Ezra goes on to say. He says a lot. Read this for yourself. But for time's sake, we're not going to read this whole pericope. All right? But let's focus on the last 4 or 5 verses, right? Let's start at verse 27. He said, and so thou givest the city over to the hands of thine enemies, and their deeds, then any better than the inhabitants of Babylon, that they should therefore have the dominion over Zion? Are these people any better than us? Hell no. For when I came hither and had seen, impities without number. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Then my soul saw many evildoers in the 13th year, so that my heart failed me. Let's continue. It says, for I have seen how thou sufferest the sinning, thou hast spared wicked doers, and has destroyed thy people, and has preserved thy enemies, and has not sanctified it. I do not remember how this way may be left after they then of Babylon better than they of Zion. Right? Just a question that he's asking. Or is there any other people that know thee besides Israel? Any other people that know thee besides Israel? No. Right? Or what generation have so beloved thy covenants as Jacob? Nobody. And yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor have no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I have seen that they flow in wealth and think not upon thy commandments. That's how it currently is today. We see that. The heathen, right? He said he went through the heathen. He said he see how they flow in wealth and they think not upon thy commandments, right? weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and there's also that dwell in the world, aka Babylon. And so shall thy Salakia, and so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments, that thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. All right? So we're going to get our reward, you know what I mean, if we keep his commandments, if we keep his precepts, we'll get our reward. And that's what the Most High is going to find, that these heathen, that they don't do that. So then, jumping back into Revelations here to finish up, right? Revelations 2:22, 2:26, and he that overcometh and keep my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, right? So if we endure, we'll get our reparations. We'll get power over the nations, right? It won't matter what Joe, the fat boy, redneck Edomite says, right? Where he feels like, damn it, he ain't apologizing. He feel like he feel like so-called black people are basically still. And look, the funny thing is that it's not black. It's the Native Americans, the Hispanics. I mean, they deserve it too for the atrocities. For real, right? But this is how we're gonna get our reparations, man. Right here, right? Right? If we overcome and keep the works, his commandments until the end, he gonna give us power over the nation, right? And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and as the vessels of a potter shall he break them to shivers, even as I have received of my Father. Right? So that's how we gonna get it, family. Right? It doesn't matter. All right. One more time for the road. Right? Let's show this heathen raging. Right? Oh man, one more time for the road before we get up out of here, family. Make sure everybody hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. All right, one more time. All right.
I'm gonna say this, and I don't give a who cries in the comments. It's about to get real. I'm done apologizing for being white. I didn't own slaves. I didn't write Jim Crow. I didn't redline. I was born in the 1980s to a middle-class family that had to work for everything. I worked 50 plus hours a week, pay my taxes, and I'm still told I'm the villain.
Well, because you acting like a villain. You know what I mean? And who more villainized than the so-called black man here in Babylon, here in America? FYI, right? Right? The most profiled, the most jailed. I mean, look, bro, you talking about the villain? Look, bro, we are the most villainized stereotype on television, in popular media. Get that nonsense out of here, devil. Right? We don't care about that, man.
Every day it's check your white privilege, do a land acknowledgement, post the black square, feel guilty for something I had zero to do with. No way. My great-grandparents came off a boat from Germany with nothing. I've got black people in my family tree, and nobody in my bloodline ever owned a slave. You want an apology? Dig up the dead. You want money?
This man said you want an apology, dig up the dead. I got one more scripture, Father. I wasn't even going to pull this, man, but one more, man. It's an oldie but a goodie, man. One more for out the door, man. This man said dig up the dead. I missed that, family. I ain't going to let that one ride. I'm going to share my screen on this one. Let me bring on. Oh, he would have came up to that talk, man, back in the day, man, to one of the old West Camp boy. He would have got fish fillet with this right here, bro. Right? I think it's okay. I think it's Isaiah 49. It's an oldie but a goodie, man. I'm getting old, man. I think it's Isaiah. This is not what I'm looking for. But I do like this scripture right here, too. This is the only. This is Isaiah 49:22. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will lift up my hand to the Gentiles and set up my standard to the people. And they shall bring my sons in their arms, and their daughters shall carry upon their shoulders. And the kings shall be their nursing fathers, and their queens their nursing mothers. This is a future prophecy for the judgment on these heathens. But this is not particularly what I was looking for. I'm looking for prepare a slaughter. I haven't read this in a while. Spelling that wrong or something? I could have swore that was Isaiah 49. Oh, it's Isaiah 14. I thought it was Isaiah 14, but I wasn't sure. Right, but here we go, right? He said, dig up the dead, right? All right, look, man. Look. Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and the remnant of sons, nephews, saith the Lord. So look, that's how the Most High is going to get his judgment, one way or the other, man. All right? No matter, Psalm chapter 2. No matter why you rage, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing, right? And the king set themselves and the rulers take counsel against the Most High, against his anointed, his people. What does it say? Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us, right? That's what they say. But he that set up in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. See, we're going to get the last laugh, all right? Hands down, all right? When the Most High sets his holy king upon the hill in Zion, all right? All right, family. Again, hit the like button. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We over an hour. Appreciate everybody tapping in. We'll be back next week. But if y'all looking for more edification, make sure y'all tapped in with the brother Oscar Carr. His channel, let me bring that up, or I'll bring his channel and plug his channel real quick. So if you don't know, then you're about to find out right now. All right. If you don't know, then you're about to find out right now who the brother Oscar Carr is. All right, let me share my screen because I don't got it shared. And I hear my dog out there sound like he want to go outside and use the bathroom. All right. All right, so that's me right there. That's, y'all see that. That's me continuing to give this flunky the reparations, right? He said, get reparations? Nah, bro, but it don't matter, you know what I mean? We don't care about that. We completely cooked you up and showed you why it don't matter. We gonna get it regardless, man. We're gonna get something else too. All right? We're gonna take the kingdom as the scriptures say. All right, family? But this Asher Carr, you know what I mean? Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. I don't know if he got a live stream set for this weekend, but Lord willing, the brother has something coming to edify. So make sure that y'all tapped in over here too, all right? That you like, share, and that you subscribe. Let me also throw this up here. If you're looking for a family to tap in with, if you got any questions, genuine questions, comments, concerns, you can drop them in the comments section, but you can also email us directly here at fire.classroom@gmail.com. If it's on your spirit to donate to the ministry, which definitely helps out. Of course, that's not what we're looking for. We ain't begging like that looking for a handout, you know, trying to rob you, so to speak, man, as Esau would say, right? But if it's on your spirit to support the ministry, we see it here. You see it here. The Cash App is Fire God Camp 12. All right. With that being said, family, we're gonna go ahead and close this on out. Again, appreciate everybody tapping in with us. If you haven't, again, hit the like button. Make sure you share. Make sure that you subscribe. I'll be back. Hey, maybe sooner than you think. You never know, but I'll definitely, man, if the Lord say so, man, I'll be back next week tapped in with y'all family. All right. With that being said, we're going to give all praise to the Most High God, to our power, to our Father, you know, definitely giving him all the glory and honor, man, because without him, we are nothing. Why is earth and ashes proud? At our best, we are filthy rags, right? But we want to be those true worshipers. We want to worship the Heavenly Father, right? In what? In spirit and in truth, family. All right. Again, appreciate everybody who tapped in. All right. With that being said, shalom, family.
King Corn beats be killing shit.
We was powers on this earth once, and we was all about the mirth once. Idol worship, murder like the first of the month. Hit a nigga with the bit like you need a light. That's what you do when you on fourth, or else you got a punt. But we ain't needed when we cry for Egypt flesh, nah. So it's Egypt that we got, and we hella mad. These crackers soaring off our shoulders like some helipads. They see our sweat, but they don't feel us like we holograms. I'll be damned, another black man shot again.